Take it away, Train Woman.
The next train on platform 1 goes to...
I don't like the generation blaming that goes on, like Generation Y versus baby boomers.
No.
But there's no question that you just look at
Definitely
historically, the boomers did have a sweet spot before Reaganomics. And
Yeah, that's a good way to put
Thatcher.
it. They had a sweet spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we are definitely not having a sweet spot right now.
No, I think there might have been another small mini sweet spot around the turn of the century. Just in terms of
the Middle East says it all, but I guess we're so
yeah,
whitewashed
maybe just
into
when the Olympics was on, I feel like that was pretty good. Those 2 weeks that they had, I liked that.
Wait, what year was that?
That was 2000. It
2000,
was
yeah.
September 2000.
Yeah, so the year before the whole world went to fucking shit.
The decision to go to war in Iraq and to remove Saddam Hussein from power in a coalition of over 40 countries led by the United States of America was the hardest, most momentous, most agonizing decision I took in my 10 years as British Prime Minister. For that decision today, I accept full responsibility. Without exception and without excuse. I recognise the division felt by many in our country over the war. And in particular, I feel deeply and sincerely, in a way that no words can properly convey, the grief and suffering of those who lost ones they loved in Iraq. Whether members of our armed forces, the armed forces of other nations, or Iraqis. The intelligence assessments made at the time of going to war turned out to be wrong. The aftermath turned out to be more hostile, protracted, and bloody than ever we imagined. The coalition planned for one set of ground facts and encountered another. And a nation whose people we wanted to set free and secure from the evil of Saddam became instead victim to sectarian terrorism. For all of this, I express more sorrow, regret, and apology than you may ever know or can believe.
End bracket.
Hello. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Perfect.
Cool.
Okay, awesome. Skarlett,
Hi.
thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You're a fucking amazing drummer.
Oh, that means a lot. Thank you. I can't help but make a little ruckus here and there with my drums, I must say. I like to, I don't know, get the feels and move around the city a bit, I must say.
I've seen you, I've only seen you once in Particles, which was amazing.
What gig was that?
That was Bald Faced Stag in the front room.
Oh, God, that was our little residency.
Yeah. Tough room to make sound good. I would like to hear you guys in a proper treated...
I think that was the point, you know? It's like...
Yeah.
I don't know, we're all about just playing locally and just making noise regardless of sound quality or whatever, you know, you just make do with what we have. And
it was about the vibe.
It's all about the vibe. We even did our own sound. Like, we turned around during the set and moved the faders ourselves.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like just back to basics, you know, and it put me back to why I love what I do, you know?
That's great. I can definitely understand that that feeling of getting a little bit lost in that business side of stuff.
It's got to be about the music first.
I struggle a little bit in terms of input into songwriting as a drummer.
As a drummer, it's very hard. You've got to find the right recipe of people to work with.
Totally. That's right. You need to have, because the communication's really difficult. Obviously, if you are like me, you don't know notes and scales too well.
Oh God, I've got no idea.
Yeah. I've got the same idea as like an 8-year-old learning guitar 2 weeks in.
I know how, kind of me too. Like I kind of know how to direct it and kind of the idea of what I could want in a sense of where it could go, but I could never say that's that or this is that or...
Yeah. I would never be able to say, you know, I would never go, make it more diminished.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't know, but I'd be just like, make it weirder.
Make it weirder.
just make it
I'd definitely
weird.
say just make it a bit more fucked. That's definitely my terminology.
The vocabulary for songwriting is very scrappy and shitty, but
I don't think that's shit though. I think we all work in our different ways. I think it's so beautiful in a sense. Like the boys from Nala, have you heard of Nala?
I love Nala.
Oh my God, I love them so much. Like they are classically trained, incredible musicians. And
unbelievable.
And them together do something that most bands can't do. But at the same time, then you see bands like Friends or Rom, and it's just like, do you ever think that aside from probably McDougal, the rest were ever classically trained or anything they're a bunch of punks that create something that no one can. So it's, I don't know, I find it so fascinating. I think art is art regardless of where you're based or where you come from, and it's just so beautiful to see that. And I definitely find myself anything but technical, and I'm sure many people already know that.
Oh, completely. Like our band's next single is written with me on the keyboard. I can't play keyboard. No, sorry. It was obviously not recorded with me on the keyboard, but it came out of a jam where we all swapped instruments.
Yeah, right. And you just went for it.
I was on the keyboard and our singer was on the drums, and he's a good drummer, but even he, as a keyboardist, is not he's fine, but he's not he's not a virtuoso, and that's the point of it. Like him, it's kind of like, I mean, we're two drummers. It's a often quoted example, but Meg White.
Oh God, like she made that band perfection.
Perfect. And
anyone that says she's a shit drummer doesn't get drumming.
Oh, Meg, don't be rude.
You don't get drumming.
Like,
drumming is context.
Whoever says Meg shit, they say that Ringo shit, and those people fucking piss me off.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
piss me off so much. Like,
but
I think
say
Ringo's
that Julian
the only
Casablancas
drummer I've ever cried over. I cried over Ringo's drumming from Sgt. Pepper.
Oh yeah, okay. Wait, which Sgt. Pepper track?
The whole album.
Oh,
I listened. I put it on for the first time. It was only a year or so ago. 20 years ago today. That I listened to it in full. I've never done it.
I had a late start with Sgt. Pepper's as well.
Dude, how was I so late to the game?
Unbelievable.
I listened to songs out of order and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that's amazing. That's so great. But then I sat there with like a joint in my hand and a beer and just sat there with the lyrics. And then I put the lyrics down and tried to drum to the rest of the vinyl. And I just sat back and went, holy shit. Like,
you're like, oh, I got it.
Like, no one could ever replicate anything he ever did like that. And same with Meg White, I reckon if anyone else was in that position, they would have overdone it.
Meg can use them. We can do something with them. We'll make something out of them. Make some money out of them at least.
They would have completely not made it what it was. And it's just, it's beautiful.
She nailed it. And it was that perfect combination. And I think the same about, I said Julian Casablancas before, but I meant Fabrizio Moretti from The Strokes.
Is that his name? Yeah, right. He's amazing.
Just straight up, this is straight beat.
Oh, his resilience. What do you call it? Stamina. His stamina is just one of the best to drummers. I don't know how someone can keep that kick beat with closed hats.
And also be like, I'm never doing a fill. I'm just never doing a fill.
Never. It doesn't need to because it's just so machine gun-like.
Yeah, totally.
And then Fait Accompli is the opposite. It's like, how many rolls can I just naturally fucking put in?
I've been, when I do sort of two-piece jams and stuff like that, like I'm a bit more over
Hold
the top.
back.
No.
Really? The other way?
No, with wow, I always try and keep it Fabrizio Moretti stroke style.
Febreze.
Febreze. Smells nice.
Just sprayed on drummers going out of control. No.
Yeah, well, what's with the... I want to talk about Sgt. Pepper's more. Can we talk about Sgt. Pepper's more?
What an album.
Do you have, because I think there's two tracks that really stand out. I mean, obviously the whole fucking album.
It's so big and incredible that I actually can't even pinpoint in my mind one part that... There was this drum part that was so simple. It was just boom, 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 boom. Like, so simple that I can't even explain.
Are you sure that was Sgt. Pepper's?
Boom, 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 boom. I forget the song title. We need to listen to it.
Yeah, we...
No, I'll cry. No, don't.
Also, it'll be... every time I put on music in the podcast, like, we end up just, like... everyone just ends up stop talking, and if they do, they're just like, what? The other highlight for me is obviously you can't really go past that final track, A Day in the Life. And then it's so good that they did the reprise of Sgt. Pepper in the track before that, so then it's out of the way, and you think the album's over. No, it's not.
Man.
The best track is at the end.
Do you reckon anyone has put that much effort into an album story since? Or what is the best equivalent to that storyline?
I think when you look conceptually at a lot of albums, I think that they were also at a time where what they were doing was so unique. They're such good songwriters all together. It's that
paving the way
that but I could think stereotypically Dark Side of the Moon is.
You know what? Here's my opinion. I listened to that not too long ago in full and just went, why aren't I liking that at all right now?
Yeah.
And I freaked out because I always loved that album. And then I listened to it again in another headspace and I thought it was horrible and it freaked me out.
I've done that before.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's just a headspace.
But sometimes you listen to something and you're like, I don't really know what I was seeing in this.
Yeah.
And then inevitably it comes back and then...
don't get me wrong, it's incredible, but I don't know.
No, but it's your frame of mind.
Yeah, frame of mind,
then, I sometimes feel like that...
I've got to get tickets to Roger Waters. Shit.
Oh, he is coming out, isn't he?
Shit, yes, I totally forgot. It's probably already sold out.
He's a wonderful man, Roger Waters. Cares a lot about a lot of causes.
Well, God, in his on all the promotion he's doing at the moment, it's like all this political content, like bringing society back down. Also, I forget what he was saying but it was like quotes of it on the top of the promotion, and I'm like, holy shit, like he's here with a message.
Yeah, he always tries to put a little bit more, and even going back to that. Even going back to Dark Side of the Moon, Us and Them and Time, that stuff makes me cry.
Yeah.
It's ticking away the moments that make up a dull day.
Yeah.
Fritter and waste the hours in an offhand way. It's just...
Yeah. My heart loves it, but that headspace I was in when I listened to that album in full last time...
It wasn't your Sgt. Pepper's...
no, it was a weird headspace. That's so weird thinking about... I've never actually thought about that. Oh, God, that's why music's so powerful. So many different perspectives. Anyone can have any opinion on anything at all, and it's all valid, and it's all beautiful, and it all matters.
The only opinion that is not valid is that Ringo is a shit drummer and Meg White is a shit drummer. It's like, no, drumming is context, and, every drummer is good if they're in the right band.
Yeah, it's true.
Good drummer, good band. No, good drummer, good band. Wait, what's the phrase? Fuck it.
Fuck it.
And we're back. So what were you going to say?
I forget.
Fuck. How often do you find yourself second-guessing yourself?
The weird thing is, the only band I've never second-guessed absolutely anything ever with is Fait Accompli.
Really?
The way we write, me and Ray just go for it. We write the whole song structure in one go, and the song might go for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
But we write it in one go and we go, yeah, cool, let's record it. So then we just record it off our phone right after we've jammed this whole entire song. And then by the next time through, he's already got fake words for these melodies and stuff. Yeah. And then that's basically the song. And then it just gets shaped basically from there. And that is literally how every song has been written by that band.
We obviously both played the Sando Hotel on King Street.
Wait, no, I even played the Sando. No, oh my God. Okay, I was 18 the first time I played the Sando. It was the first little boxy piece of shit stage that you walked upstairs.
The one that was on the way to the other
yes,
stage?
Yeah. Oh my God. I was 18.
I think I preferred that room to the big giant
oh my
brick
God.
room.
So did I.
Yeah.
Like, there was something more vibey about it, but it was the original stage.
It was too big.
Yeah, and the brick and the glass, it vibrated.
It was a weird...
But I'm even talking before that room existed.
Right, okay.
Before, there was a room downstairs, and that small, tiny room upstairs was the only main band room.
Oh, right, okay.
So that was the beginning of the Sando, and I think it probably was even older and has, like, maybe it was downstairs before that. I kind of forget. But, God, I was 18 and I played there with a band called Red Valley. That was my metal band.
All right.
Yeah, and, God, I haven't changed. I wore the same, because I play in my bra. Clearly that's kind of my vibe because I can't move my arms unless I do so.
Oh, no, I get that. I'm wearing a collared shirt right now. I refuse to wear a collared shirt when playing drums.
I don't know how you do that. I don't know.
Well, it's all rolled up around the elbows and it's
the
all
drummer
just...
from Tired Lion, when I played with him one time, he played with a long sleeve shirt the whole entire show, and I still have that in my head of playing feeling claustrophobic, and it goes back to the way, when I feel claustrophobic, it goes back to
how are you doing
the
in here, by
Tired
the way?
Lions drummer. That's exactly what it goes to. I will never forget that in Perth.
Well, like, what do you think about when you see, like, the sort of the classy bands? You know, I'm thinking the band for Conan O'Brien, or what was it, the Max Weinberg 7?
Yeah, right.
And the Max Weinberg was the drummer, also the drummer for Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
And he's always in full suit.
Oh, man, but he's got class.
Sure, but what about another drummer, the guy from the Hives? You know how they're always wearing full suits?
True. How does he drum in that?
And
that is a hard one.
He's fast. He's
very fast.
He's hard-hitting.
So you do it all the same, you do it all again. You wake up.
God, he just moves those wrists like a motherfucker.
His kit
it's all
is
about
so
precision.
low.
I'm too much of a fuckwit. I move too much.
When I saw you,
he's
your stands were falling over and shit. Something went wrong with the stands, and you're like literally pulling up your foot to like, and you were like just sort of basically using your ass as a pivot to octopus. And play drums.
That is what my guitarist Dan from Particles calls me. He calls me Octopus. That is my name.
Well, okay. Well, I'm glad that someone else shares that opinion.
Yep.
But like, okay, so you've been playing music for ages. I've been playing music for ages. I think probably a little bit less involved than you were, but I've always been in bands, like always.
Yep.
So, Old Sando, pre-Newtown Social Club. Do you ever play? I mean, I'm just trying to think of venues that are no longer there, or at least changed. So, like, obviously, you would have played Annandale. Obviously, you would have played. What a Spectrum, like up on Oxford Street.
Funny story. So in 2008, 2008, when MySpace was raging, and it was the new way to get your music out. It was the new way for socials. It was everything. You know, MySpace was everything.
It was a game changer. That
just
stopped.
It was, yes, which is interesting. But in 2008, I won Australia's most extraordinary MySpace user. And Spectrum was actually the first gig. No, okay, so the Sando was the first gig I ever played, and then it was Spectrum for the second gig I ever played at Hot Damn on a Thursday night.
Oh, that was a good gig.
It was a good gig.
Yeah.
And that's what turned me into an early alcoholic. And I'm glad I steered myself out of that one.
I don't know if that was appropriate to laugh at.
Definitely laugh at that. But there was enough vodka raspberries to probably keep me going for existence.
I was all over that vodka raspberry. Like, everyone just had the same drink. And,
man.
Yeah.
But like, no, Spectrum, that's awkward stage in the middle of the room. It was just strange. It was weird...
The stage that took up most of the room.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah,
before they moved it to the other side?
Yeah, absolutely.
So awkward, and those weird big steps up to the stage.
Yeah. And what else we got? We got... I mean, everything in that Exchange Hotel, obviously. Then there was...
Q-Bar, of course, yeah.
Q-Bar and...
Oxford Art still exists.
Yeah, and then...
Ruby Rabbit was good, but now that's Oxford Circus.
Oxford Circus is now gone.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, this is
what I want to talk about. That just disappeared without us even knowing.
Exactly. I never got to go there.
It was beautiful. I just burped.
All right, yeah. So I was saying to Dickie Mills, who runs the Psych Daz parties, that... Because now he works at the Lansdowne, but he's only been in Sydney for 4 years. I told him that since I've been playing, or since I've been 18, the Lansdowne has closed and reopened 3 times. Like, isn't that fucked?
We actually played the last Annandale show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Fait Accompli and Juice were the headliners. Juice is like Lucius from Cog's side project.
I forgot to mention Lucius from Cog.
He's an incredible human.
He's a nice guy.
Bringing it back to Newcastle.
Oh, yeah,
The first festival I ever played in Newcastle, I was 16 years old, and it was called Strike Back Festival. And the headliners was Something with Numbers and
Something
Cog.
with Numbers!
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about them.
Yeah, and I'll never forget it because that was the first time I could watch my favourite bands from side stage because I was so young. That was a dream to even play a festival, yet to just even watch them side stage was just massive. And I'll never forget sitting down with my legs folded and mum's behind me watching me. And I was sitting side stage with my legs folded, just with my eyes locked on Lucius. Lucius?
Lucius Borich.
Lucius Borich. Lucius Borich. Sorry, one of my heroes. I'm really dyslexic and I'm trying my best. But no, Lucius.
You're doing well. Fuck,
but
Lucius Borich.
I was watching him, right? And he did this thing that till this day is still in my mind, and it helped me. I don't know, it helped me just push myself harder because what I saw just made me go, wow, like that's fucking hard. And he was in the middle of this huge drum solo with Cog. Like he had so many
toms. Was it even a solo or was it just part of the song?
It was probably part of the song. Yeah. Like, who knows? Like, I was
a verse.
I was just so mesmerized. I could just remember it. And then all of a sudden he's still doing this drum roll and he starts doing it with one hand and then he just decides to start tuning his toms while he's doing this one-handed roll. And and it goes on for so long and I didn't even know what tuning probably was properly at that point of my life. And I knew what it was after that. Like, I'm like, what is he doing? And that was the first time in my life where it kind of all connected. Performance meets taking care of your equipment meets sound. Yeah. And he was the first person to unintentionally kind of teach me that. So that was pretty cool to watch.
Did you get to meet him?
Yeah. Funnily enough, years later, he wanted to produce the drums with me for the next Fait Accompli record because he's friends with Ray. And I still haven't told him that story.
Producing... Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll tell him that story one day. But, so...
Fuck, he's one of my heroes as well. Yeah. And, my drumming is sort of faded into the background a little bit, or at least... the intent... I still practice, I'd say, more than anyone else in my band because... No, because here's the thing.
I love that.
Well, the rest of the band can get fucking away with it. They hop up and they're just as good. Whereas if I don't drum for a week...
Oh, I don't know.
No,
I'm so hopeless without practicing.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I think, is that a drum thing? Because I can't...
Maybe.
Because I get on and I forget how to play. It's been
We are the backbone.
Sure, but everything's off. My wrists are all off. Everything's not working.
Oh God, yeah. You've got to honestly, if it wasn't for my work postering, with the amount of blue tack I put on music posters and then hang them up, the amount of wrist exercise. I know that sounds ridiculous. Yeah. That sounds so ridiculous. But 4 years ago, when I started working for Sydney Posters, I do name it. At the moment, I'm doing all these Laneway Festival, Mountain Sounds Festival, Marilyn Manson. I'm just doing so many different artists.
Is Manson coming out?
No, he just released a new album though.
Oh, okay, right.
And it's weird, but anyway, it's a weird album. He's definitely past his prime of that. Oh, what was the name of that amazing album he wrote?
Obscene?
Yeah, no.
Golden Age of Grotesque?
Yes, I think it's that one.
Yeah.
God, I'm so bad at album names, but fuck my life, that was a good album. It's nothing like that anymore.
Well, I heard, sorry to interject, but I heard this podcast with Marilyn Manson came out a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
He was not in a good state. He was
Interesting.
Not. Yeah, he was increasingly drunk throughout it.
Oh no, he's still in that point. When he played Bloody Soundwave last time, that was a nightmare. It's always heartbreaking when your favourite artists don't release an album you like. You try and love it as much as you possibly can. But
you have to try and stick with it, but it's increasingly hard because you get to know more bands, and then you need to have a whole bunch of other bands that you need to catch up on their new albums. And I can see
Thank God for Spotify.
Yeah, thank God. But that almost becomes a curse because it's the choice. It's just dear God.
But welcome to our reality. We have the choice with everything. People treat relationships now like fucking, I don't know, underwear, It's just I've got Tinder, luckily.
Sorry, I was thinking in my head Tinder was a disease. I've got Tinder, the doctor said so.
I've got Tinder. There we go. Maybe a social disease, yeah. I'd kind of maybe
Certainly.
agree with that, actually.
Do you think that, have you had to, I mean, I basically sort of dodged a bullet because, like, I've been with my girlfriend. Your girlfriend's Ashley, my girlfriend's Ashley.
I like this.
People.
I like this. Go Ash. Go Ash.
And so that's been about coming up on 5 years. And so I missed that whole Tinder thing. But
Right.
I didn't have to experience that.
I found Ash through Tinder.
Really?
I did. By
Oh,
accident.
shit.
By accident. It was just purely me having fun on something I thought was completely stupid. Like,
Yeah.
I thought the whole
Took a
idea
week.
of it. A week.
Yeah?
And then in a week, I found the love of my life.
Like, not everyone's shallow. Like, as in, like,
No, I
like it's a
agree.
shallow app, but people are more complicated than that. And
True. If you're shallow, you're going to be shallow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Tinder.
Tinder. I made a little fun Spotify playlist that I listened to at various points over the last couple of weeks, which was your drumming, well, whatever's available on Spotify of your drumming chronologically.
Wait, there's more than one song. I just burped. That was my Young Henry's burp. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
we were on the natural lager tonight. Thank you, Young Henrys.
Yum, yum.
Not thank you that much because I bought these, so that's your thanks. You really made it the centerpiece in a lot of the other songs. Not that you made it the centerpiece; it just was automatically. That's just the style.
What songs are on Spotify? Which ones? Do I have other stuff on Spotify that I'm not even
Fait
aware
Accompli
of?
stuff is
Oh,
on
is that
Spotify.
on there?
Yeah, same with She-Rex.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know that. Where is my 1 cent?
So I noticed with your drumming a couple of years ago that it was sort of, you'd really pulled it back. It was simpler and someone's doing a shit.
Someone's
and,
doing a shit.
ruins,
Stop going to the toilet. We're trying to do a podcast.
It's all right. It's a tall house, so shit's gonna fall. You've obviously learned so much about dynamics within a group, but now you're in particles, which seem to be going quite well. I want to talk about the dynamic of that, of just having one other person to bounce off.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Like, it's just so equal as well. I've never worked with someone that's so easygoing. It's like, do you want to do that? Do you want to do that? Yeah, Dan.
Dan, yeah.
It's like probably the most chilled person I've ever worked with in my whole life, but still so together. Like, he takes care of like half the stuff because I'm super dyslexic, right? Like super dyslexic. So I'm so bad at money.
Text messages seem fine.
Oh God,
you did well.
Oh, I try so hard. Drumming actually helps, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, because you're using both sides of the brain.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So technically, that's actually why I started drumming when I was 6 years old.
Might be the only child whose parents encouraged them to drum.
Oh God, I used to get home from school and Mum would just start screaming, "Why can't I hear those drums? Why
Holy
can't I
shit.
hear them?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll go do that." So yeah, if it wasn't for Mum, I definitely wouldn't be where I am. That's for sure. I've always been such a free spirit as a drummer, and I've always been like, play with my heart, not with my head. Music first, and then the business will follow the way it's meant to. I've always kind of run along those lines, and I don't know, it's so interesting, like really analysing different perspectives of music and stuff, because I don't know, it's like I always think if I was a bit more technical in certain bands I've played in the past, or a bit more level-headed and not so crazy, like things could have paved in a totally different place. And it just really, it's just really fascinating to think about the amount of control that even just singers have had over me in my whole life of my career, from band to band. They've all been so different in ways that I can't even try and explain properly. I'm trying to get this explanation out.
From a actual drummer's perspective.
Yeah, because you get it because you're a drummer, yeah.
Well, you have a limited amount that you are able to control if you cannot play other instruments as well as the other instrumentalists can. I can't play keyboard. I can play crap guitar.
I don't know. I feel a lot of musicians feel that drummers and drums, I don't know, are on the back burn or not the most important thing, or
like no matter how talented you are,
they're interchangeable, or we don't get songwriting credits, so we're not serious musicians. or like, does this make sense of where I'm going? Like,
completely. I think that. I mean, luckily, I have not experienced that in some time. I would say that most of the last few bands I've been in have not had that attitude.
But maybe
I
not
have
even from bands in general. I'm talking about maybe just in a sense of like, even from looking at your APRA royalty check compared to your guitarist. Like, I just not a personal thing. You know what I mean? I just feel like, I don't know, drummers. I don't know. I don't feel like they've ever been taken completely serious in a sense of, I don't know. It's so hard to get what I'm trying to say out because it's not really coming out the way I want.
Well, there's a meathead aspect to it, I think, also, that there's this kind of, there's a stereotype. I mean, there's all the drummer jokes as well. You know, you put your drumsticks on the dashboard and you can park in a disabled spot.
How do you know the stage is level?
Yep, the drool coming out of
and that sides. Actually happens to me at every show. Yeah, I drool all the time.
Really?
It's real. It's real. I sweat. I drum with my mouth open a lot.
You do sweat? I do that as well. Not so much.
Do you drum with your mouth open?
I chew gum when I drum. So
really? What?
I don't know.
How do you do that?
What? It just sort of is my...
That would throw me out.
Yeah, well, I guess everyone's got their own thing. No, but like I'm like Mo from The Simpsons when I'm drumming. Like I just do not stop sweating.
Yeah, right. Does that keep your attention as well? Like, do you think?
What, the sweating? Or what, the
chewing?
No,
you're chewing. You're like chewing the gum.
Yeah, I think it just helps to concentrate. I don't know.
Really?
It's just like something that I'm not opening my jaw or my mouth, or I'm not like making too many
Maybe
faces.
I should do that because I'm like, the single that Particles just put out, we riffed. We recorded that live and filmed it live at the same time.
That's an incredible video, by the way.
It was so much fun. Like the team we had, like Richie and Luke, like, oh my God, Richie knows how to make a bloody sound out of my kit. Like it just blew me away from what he could do with my acrylic. Like I didn't even think an acrylic could sound like that. And God, I don't remember the last time I was in the studio where an engineer respected the craft of those drums. Like he put everything into it, every mic, every positioning. Yeah. It was all natural. It was all
How long did it take?
Real. I think it was, God, he's so good. It was an hour and a half setup.
Holy shit.
Nothing. Richie's boss. Like Free Energy Studios, honestly, it has one of the best vibes, and what he did with it was just incredible. And Luke kind of brought in that whole editing vibe because I don't know, Tennis, our last single, was just so produced and a storyline, and it was so big, and it was what me and Dan have envisioned to finish the EP, but I just knew that the next single we had to kind of be a bit more approachable.
Yeah, you had to make a statement with it.
We had to make a statement and show people who we kind of were, what we did, because no one really knows anything, because if you see us live, you'd get it. But
yes. There was a huge difference between hearing, because when I saw you live, it was before Rift, and it was, all I heard was Tennis.
Still trying to get to know ourselves then, actually. Like we've only just crossed that line where we're like, fuck yeah, let's take on the world. Like we've just honestly just crossed that line.
That's great.
It's taken like a year and a bit. So
when is the EP out?
So the EP's out at the start of next year, early next year.
Right. Okay.
But there's.
Have you recorded it?
Half. So we're about to go in with Richie to finish this storyline because I want the next single to go from where Tennis left off, if that makes any sense. There's a huge storyline that we've got to finish where, I don't know, Rift kind of was like, here's something raw, us, live, get to know us, now let's go back to what we were doing.
Okay, right.
If that makes sense.
You're swinging the pendulum a little bit.
A little,
okay.
Yeah.
So where does Rift fit? Rift is on the EP though?
Yes, 100%.
So where does that kind of fit thematically within that?
So
that's a very weird question. I don't know how you can answer that.
I think it's just one of those things that, you know what? This is an easy way to say it. I think once everyone watches the videos together, everyone will understand.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
It's a story, and it might not make sense if you listen to it singularly, like maybe Sgt. Pepper, like to some in a sense. But once you listen to all of it together, you'll kind of see what we were kind of coming from, I think. And Dan's an incredible writer, and Rift is actually the only thing that I wrote. Right. So the rest of all the songs were actually written before I came into the band with Liam and Mason from DMAs. and they wrote all of that. And then I heard all those demos from Paddy from Sticky Fingers and lost my mind, and I just had to join the band immediately.
Yeah.
And then the first song we ever jammed and wrote together was Rift. So it was kind of cool to like bring it back to basics of just us two and no bullshit. Just, hey, this is literally us. This is just us. Like, we're like, it only needs 2 verses. Doesn't need a chorus.
Totally. That's Strokes attitude.
Yeah, just didn't need a chorus.
So let's have a listen. Oh, I get to do what I used to do in the radio. This is awesome. This is like my radio days. Let's have a listen to Rift by Particles. Out now. Check it out. You are sitting in my sacred drum room.
I am. It's got some vibe.
It's got some vibe, but...
Much vibe.
But surely, I mean, I can think of many sacred drum rooms that I've had throughout my life because you need to find the right space. You need to find the right neighbours, and it's extremely difficult. Drums are the fucking worst instrument to pick up in terms of convenience.
It is very hard, yes.
You are choosing a life of not being able to practice on something that it's supposed to sound like unless there are very, very specific conditions met.
Or you get broke going to rehearsal rooms to do so.
Totally. Yeah. Even some of those solo things like that, they're so good when you're in it and you're there, but it sucks. What's your sacred drum room at the moment?
Well, I grew up one day and got a job, and then I bought an electronic drum kit.
You practice on the electric kit?
I do, a lot. So before every gig, I spend an hour on my electronic drum kit.
Yeah.
And I go through the whole set, and then I just have a free-for-all jam, and then I do my stretches, and then I have... This is so lame. I'm telling you all my actual ritual. Know. This is my actual ritual. I jam for an hour, go freestyle, do stretches... I do a little bit of Kabbalah meditation, and then I have an Epsom salt bath.
Wow.
There's some personal information that no one's ever even heard me say any of that. That's hilarious.
No, but that's great. No, because everyone's got like a pre-gig ritual. Mine is to freak the fuck out and run around the room screaming.
See, I got fucking over that. I got so over screaming.
Yeah, no, well, I think I did. I've gotten over that this year. Now I'm just like, I always feel like, because I have to bring so much stuff now, it's crazy. Like I've got a sampling pad. I bring a lot of the.
So when you bring your bits, when you got a share kit, you got what, 5 or 6 parts?
I run the lights as well from the drums, so I have to bring all that, and it's kind of like
I get too drunk for that shit.
Yeah, well. The lights are just what's the word? Not binary, like on or off. Like it's just that.
Yeah. Oh, so it's nothing like 2.
No, it's nothing like it's just it's.
I need to come see you play. You played with my friends Pretty City not too long ago, didn't you?
Yeah, those guys are great.
Great band, hey?
Yeah.
I think they're one of Australia's most underrated bands, actually.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Huge international sound. It's massive.
Massive. And like, once I got what they were doing, I'm like, this is pop through that. I mean, I know they did that T-Rex cover, but T-Rex is an appropriate kind of filter. Like, it was through, like...
That was a good cover. We played with them at...
Brighten Up Bar.
Yeah. You know it more than I do. I'm just like,
because I think someone pulled out and we got offered the gig at the last minute.
Oh, no way.
We couldn't do it because our singer was up in Brisbane.
Yeah, that would have been great.
It would have been good, yeah. Well, like, but we, first time we were supposed to play with them, right? So the only reason my band went anywhere is because I would not stop until I fucking got this gig, because it was just like, no one wanted to hear from me and everyone was sick of me contacting them, and I was just like, if you just give us a fucking chance, then it'll be fine. And I had to be so annoying. And eventually like after probably about 3 weeks of trying, there's like, yeah, all right. Not the band, like the bookers.
The booker.
Yeah.
That's the secret to it though. Bookers, honestly, you've just got to be really, really persistent and call them, or get a booker that talks the same language that just slips it in.
Yeah, you just need, I don't know what the secret is, but the point was that when we finally got to play this gig with Pretty City, it was at Wayward's August last year, and we were heaps excited to see them play, and they couldn't play.
What happened?
They all ate a bad burrito, like a bad set of burritos from Bondi, and they were just unable to. Yeah,
burrito death.
Who
ever thought burritos could cause harm?
Like full food poisoning. Like,
wow.
Yeah. So that was a real. I probably just didn't need to share that story.
No, it's just I feel sorry for them because they're such lovely guys.
Yeah.
I've got a tragic story of Pretty City while we're here talking about Pretty City.
Pretty City tragedies.
Hey guys, we played a Brighton Up bar with them, and the sound guy had no idea what he was doing.
Oh, really?
No idea. And it was actually to the point where everyone was kind of biting their tongue because we wanted to be respectful and nice, and it got to the point where he didn't even know how to set up a DI for the guys.
Oh, shit.
So here's me. I'm doing all of their sound work for them. I'm setting up their fold backs, patching it in right, fixing things up, and they're just looking at me like with almost tears in their eyes.
Shit.
Like it was just one of those moments. And like even when something wasn't going right, I would like race up and try and fix it, or be like, guys, what can I do? And like the sound guy would just be staring at all of us, like standing there just staring.
Yeah.
And like it was just one of the weirdest sound guy experiences I've had in so long. But honestly, I've never seen something crush a band like I saw that. They were so crushed. I felt so bad.
Have you had Well, I often find that my experiences with sound guys vary so widely. I think that nowadays, for me, I'm on a very good run. That I've had so many great sound guys, like really nice people, and they have such a shitty job.
The majority are.
No, but they have
incredible.
a job that's. I can understand when the sound guys are fucking pissed off all the time, because
it's fucking hard. You're dealing with egos.
You're dealing with musicians, which is the hardest thing in the world.
Yep.
As a musician. And you can surely attest to this, musicians can be extremely difficult to deal with.
Understatement. So, it would be very hard, you know. So, much respect, but fuck, man, like, at least know how to, like, set up the basics. It's like, I'm happy with even shit unmiked, you know what I mean? But just, like, feedback happening, like, stuff like that is just, like, the ultimate low basics.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Sound effect. Perfect. Hey, Skarlett, I heard.
Hi.
Let me do that again.
No, keep it. It's good. Let's go from that. All
right. What's going on with Fait Accompli? You guys have been inactive for ages.
So it's been 2 years since we've even spoken, really. And it was just one of those things.
I think earlier tonight you discussed when you and one of the Fait Accompli guys got to see Queens of the Stone Age at Splendor.
Yeah.
That was the first time you'd seen each other in a while, right?
That was the first time, and that's also the same night that we found our bass player. I don't know if I mentioned that the last. No. So after, like, this is the weird Fate story.
Okay.
I totally forgot to mention this. So like, we haven't seen Queens. Like, it was our favorite band. We, out of 30,000 people, we ended up finding each other there and connected again. And we were joined by the hip the rest of the night. Like, couldn't let go. Like, it was so funny. Yeah. We weren't even talking to each other yet. A body part or our hip would still be at least touching each other. And it was just this really cute, weird thing. And I just missed his company so much. And then Queen's finished and we were walking. We wanted to go get a grilled burger, so we were on a mission. And we started walking, and then this crazy guy with like these cool chicks that Ray knew came up to us, and he just started talking about the weirdest stuff, like super, super weird stuff. And then out of nowhere, he's like, "Do you want an acid peach?" And I'm just like, yes, we do.
The bass player?
Yeah. So anyway, Roland. But so we met just randomly walking on a mission to get a burger at Splendor in the Grass. And from that point onwards, that's right, he's seen us play once and he lost his mind because he's never met me before, and he was so off his face that I've never heard so many beautiful words come out of this guy's mouth. He was just like, revolutionary, and just like kept like so worked up over Fate's music. And like it just hit something with me and Ray, just going, man, we just need someone that just loves the music. We just need to all love it again. And as soon as that happened with Roland, we knew exactly that we were back. We knew exactly things were right again. And we're just like, well, okay, I guess we just need to jam now and kind of see where this takes us. And
so what's happening now? I mean, have you guys been jamming?
So we've had 2 jams, and so Roland's playing bass, Ray's on guitar and singing, I'm on drums, and we might possibly have another member.
Is this some sort of secret surprise?
Maybe.
High-profile member?
Maybe. It could be.
You just you literally don't know yet.
No, I know, but
okay, right.
It's not. It's just not 100% locked in.
Right. Okay.
But the concept is a little different with the new Fate. So there's a little addition added into something that is coming up.
It's the tuba, isn't it? I knew it.
It is. It is the trumpet. But no, seriously, we actually have trumpet in 2 songs, so we should probably do that. Yeah. Walk to the Beat from one of our albums.
Okay.
We ripped off the Strokes album cover on that one.
Well, it's all right because the Strokes kind of ripped off Spinal Tap.
True. Yes.
Smell the glove.
Yeah, that is, yes. So we did a double. Maybe that's why Ray did that then. Ray's a tricky artist. I'm sure he knew that well in
you
advance.
mentioned he was a beautiful painter, right?
Oh, he does everything, all of Fate's artwork. He does. He runs his own little label. He does so many things underground for musicians that I don't even think people really even know about. You know what I mean? Like he's always been such a huge figure on the underground scene, and I don't know, like it's 10 years of Fait Accompli this year. Like
shit,
10 years.
And you joined. It was around 2011, right? Was that?
So it's been 6 years. So that would be 2000.
Yes, 2011.
So it hasn't been 6 years.
Okay, so it was 2012.
Yeah,
okay,
so
right.
It was 2012 because I remember our single launch was at the Annandale 2012. I remember that. Yeah.
Fuck, I miss the Annandale.
It was such a good place. That old stage. Oh my God. And that sound. Speaking of being a female, I forgot to butt in and to mention this last time. It's like, shit has not changed in that department as a female drummer. It's the same almost as it was when I was 16 playing.
I could
the same
see
shit, you know. Like honestly, not even that long ago, I still remember someone going, "Oh, do you need a hand, love? Or is that your boyfriend stuff?" Like honestly, that still happens so much, and it's getting like slightly better only because more females are playing
marginally,
but
I do it myself, like
unintentionally.
Unintentionally, I will do it myself. Like that. Not so much anymore, but like at one point I didn't know. I would make an assumption that if you like, I would unconsciously make an assumption that if a girl was playing that she was someone's girlfriend, a band member's girlfriend, but. It just wasn't my automatic thought. Yeah. In the same way that if I see someone with a short haircut, it's not my automatic thought that they're in the band. Just because most people have scruffy hair as musicians or whatever. But it wasn't. But like that's really damaging.
Institutionalized
it's terrible.
Sexism.
Like I don't think that's
underground.
okay. I don't think that's okay at all.
No, but like honestly, like let's face it, I've probably accidentally done it to a female as well. Let's be real. Yeah. It's like it's so underground, under the skin, still there, and like. We've come such a long way, but I don't know, like we've got such a long way to go. So it's good to see these things popping up like Electric Lady and all these like small things popping up here and there to help female bands. I just wish that include the males still with this. I feel like I just don't want to cause more division with how we're going. Am I making sense?
No, you're absolutely making sense. And I do understand where you're coming from completely. I think that applies in a lot of other areas, but I think that music is just so one-sided that you can almost excuse it pretty easily. Yeah. I mean, that you can excuse making something women-only showcase. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because we didn't even know about this properly until 2 years ago. No one was talking about this properly.
What, the wage gap?
Yeah, or maybe my group was just too young to really talk about it.
People were talking about it.
I must have been too young. I just wasn't. I was too ignorant, maybe on the matter, or it's interesting.
It's
oh wait, I didn't have a job. I never worked.
Well, if you're,
I was a drummer.
If you're on New Start, do they pay you less as a woman? Is that bad taste? I don't even know if that was.
You know what? Like, is that true though? Like,
no, I'm sure
welfare wouldn't be different,
absolutely,
right?
They would.
That
not
would
do
be
that.
mind blowing. No.
Welfare is entirely not. Even if you're a single parent, it's the same single father.
Never thought about that until just then. That was weird. Anyway.
Yeah.
I might think quite differently to a lot of other drummers, but I guess...
I think you do. I really do. I really do think you do. I think that you just watch it, just listening to the way your drumming is. And I remember there's something that you said. I can't remember what the phrasing was, but it was something to do with front woman drummer.
I consider myself a front woman drummer. I do.
But you are. I've seen you. It's in terms of a live show, and even in terms of the musical composition, that's how it works. Coming.
And I definitely thank Sheila E for that. Sheila E. Prince's drummer. She's one of my greatest inspirations. I've never seen anyone double kick with one foot in stilettos before, like
right. She does the Bonham in stilettos.
Oh my God, yes. And I don't know, her style, just everything about her, was such a huge inspiration to me. But that mixed with the metal scene, that's me. Like pizzazz, showmanship, like performance, and like still, I don't know, just.
Well, I think that's what a lot of bands miss.
Yeah,
they don't understand that it's absurd that there's people on stage in the first place.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to roll with that. That's a fun thing to embrace.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's someone up there hitting objects to make a sound and you're all clapping, It's absurd.
Oh, you could break down anything like that, though. It's so hilarious when you really think about it.
Yeah.
But...
do you feel like a god or like a devil?
Well, put it this way. The devil was created by the church, Once you've got a system, you have to oppose it with an opposite system. Like if you propose the church is good and God is good, and you create a human God, you have to create something as its opposite to terrify people away from the things you don't like. I see myself as Arthur Brown.
So Skarlett, we're talking about your central role within the charity Less Than Strength. So what does that name actually mean?
I remember just laying in bed, and London was at work. We're in Chicago, and I was just thinking, trying to create, like, I don't know what these words mean to me. And I don't know, like, to me, depression and suicide isn't about being weak. It's not about not having strength. It's not about anything to do with that. I like to call it the bubble. And when I talk to people, I used to say people get trapped in the bubble, and it's less than strength. Like, it's beyond what we can comprehend with anything to do with strength. It's got nothing to do with that. You could be like Chris Cornell, that has a beautiful family, music, the world at his feet, and
it blew me away.
The bubble can just completely capulate and completely suck you into this thing where you think that you're completely so isolated that it's less than anything. And it just really resonated with me. And I know it took a while for people to really understand the name of what I meant and what I was trying to get with that. But I don't know. I think it just really resonated. I'm getting emotional even thinking about it, which is a really good thing. It meant a lot to me when I made it, and I'm still glad it's still there and people are still posting things here and there. Yeah. But you never know. It might come back one day on another level.
I mean, I was never a Linkin Park guy. Chris Cornell, on the other hand, really, this sounds cheesy because I know it's not the original band that he was famous for, but, you know, in high school, I was a huge Audioslave fan.
Oh, God, yeah. Audioslave were incredible.
Yeah. And, you know, that led me back onto, and then I became a bigger Soundgarden fan after that. But, you know, that voice, the pain, the beauty of it, and people said he was, you know, everyone around him said they did not see it coming. People
but this
thought
is
he was
the
doing
point.
Fine.
It's
exactly,
it's the bubble. It's the bubble. And I had a beautiful discussion with Ryan from Amity Affliction, the drummer of Amity Affliction. And he is probably one of the most beautiful souls I know, and I don't even know him personally. I only know him through the internet. And he was just so open about his depression, and he just wanted to help in any way possible. So he became an LCS artist. And him speaking up just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Then I noticed the band just continue to speak bigger and bigger about mental health. And then, I don't know, they lost friends to suicide, and I just noticed what they did, and they opened up this whole community of what I've always wanted these bands to talk about and do. And Jenna from Tonight Alive was a part of LCS as well, and she had like this beautiful spiritual awakening, and I have so much respect for her as a human. Like, she's an incredible being, and she joined the ride, and she was so young as well, and she still was probably working herself out at that time. That's why she was so connected to
it seems to be why a lot of people it seems to be a way to channel your energy away from other things, and it rightly so, because it's such a beautiful tree to grow and branch out with, rather than this funnel into the drilling into the ground.
It was kind of really interesting to watch it, because all these bands that I really wanted to be a part of, because they could speak to so many young people, and they had those lyrics that would really resonate on those topics. And I watched it grow, and mental health started to be talked about a lot more in music, and I was just so happy to be a part of that, to help push that. And it was
well, I mean, there's quite a lot of organizations now.
Headspace came right after.
That's right, and Support Act is also that's more recent, probably.
And To Write Love on Her Arms actually was one of my first inspirations, because they're an American company, and they really inspired me to do what I did, but they weren't doing it on a music level yet. They were really focusing on just everything.
Broadly,
And then I noticed as time went by, they were only focusing on musicians and fans and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I really, really respected that and really wanted to help that in the Australian way. And then I noticed Headspace slowly get together and jump on board with music after a long time. And I even got an email from one of the people from Headspace, like, congratulating me what I've done and how they just love what they're doing for the music scene.
I'm so sorry about the shit.
Stop going to the toilet. But yeah, no, like it kind of, I know it caused a small ripple in the big sea, like a very small ripple, but that small ripple helped thousands. And I think that's all life really is about, is creating those small ripples. And I'm so glad that ripple really helped.
Well, I'm glad we talked about. I'm glad that rightly so, you've been able to channel those energies into something a little bit more positive.
Well, I have to, like when I was 12 years old, my father committed suicide, and that still affects me to this day and age.
How could it not?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just one of those things. And I've had a few friends also pass that way, and I've actually lost quite a lot of people in my life. So I think I've got a thicker skin. Well, I've had to, and I guess going back to all of it, at the end of all this, music is my outlet. Music is what makes me, and the way I play on stage, the way I feel, the way I do it all. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for fame. I don't do it for anything like that. I do it because it makes me feel good and it makes me feel alive, and I hit that zone.
Yeah. And it's really just about putting those energies, I'm sure has something to do with Kabbalah as well, but just putting those energies into something positive.
Exactly.
And
letting go of your ego and just completely going for it in the most positive, beautiful light.
So what do you think is that, what do you think the correlation is between music and mental health? I mean, it seems to be, as we've just been talking about, it's pretty strong. It's pretty
it's a universal language.
Absolutely, but it seems very pronounced in people involved in music. And I don't know how or what that is.
Well, I definitely can kind of know why that is. It's because as artists, we give ourselves. Like, when I'm on stage, I completely give myself. When I'm online with my people that have been following me since I was like 17, like, I give myself. These musicians, Chris Cornell gave himself, Kurt Cobain gave himself. Like, all these people really, it's them, and it's so vulnerable.
It's chicken and the egg, though, because it's kind of like, are they so their heart is that way, and is it something about that attracts them to music, or is it something?
But I think that's art in general.
Yeah, it's true.
I think that's the point of art. I think art's to break up society. Like, without music and art, God, the 60s revolution wouldn't have happened. It only would have been drugs, and who knows where that would have gone without music.
Yeah, there's no fun to drugs unless there's some sort of art involved.
Exactly, my point exactly.
What am I going to do, like play Tetris?
Vote yes, by the way. Vote yes. Wait, is that November 7th? So
it'll be too late to vote yes, but will the outcome be out by then? It probably will be, right?
Yeah, it will be. Oh my God. All right.
Well,
See
like, it is going to be. It looks like it's going to be yes.
Yeah,
It appears that is pretty much locked in.
I've made 8 news sources with me making out with my girlfriend in 1 month.
I did see that picture.
It's made its rounds.
Yeah. Well done.
There's my contribution to the left and right. Locking lips with my babe. That was easy feminism and activism.
Yeah. Well, you got standing up on a tree or something. You were up high, right?
I was on a bench, but it was at the Straight Lives Matter protest, and it was like 10 people that helped do the Cronulla riots and the people against Muslim protest, all standing with I don't know, the funniest part to their whole protest was this tradie that took like half an hour to like an hour to build a stage for 10 people, and it was the most ultimate stage. It was I was just envisioning Hitler and someone like building this dodgy wood stage for Hitler. Like that's kind of like the vibes that it was giving off. And then the speakers were faced the other way, so no one could even hear anything they were saying.
Wait, what do you mean they're facing the other way?
Like all us gay protesters and just
all
were standing all the way at the top of the hill because we were fenced off by about 50 squad police.
Sure.
They didn't let us get anywhere near them, of course, because it would have got really bad.
Yeah.
I'm glad the police were so amazing and did what they did. But it was the most pointless protest I've ever seen in my whole entire life. It did absolutely nothing. But I knew that there was every type of media source there with their cameras. And I knew that this was my chance to make a statement with letting them think that I wasn't trying to make a statement. So I kept doing these poses. I kept putting my hands up and doing a love heart, and I kept putting like my fingers up and just pausing for like holding my arm up for like fucking 10 minutes to 15 minutes straight, and just like doing staunch poses.
Here's your moment, everybody. Yep.
And just smiling.
And then, the smiles, because they want to,
And then like Sydney Morning Herald, bloody The Australian, like name it, Daily Telegraph, name it. They all use like 3 different photos of me, or every single one of them, and then and there was nothing negative to say because all I was doing,
no like aggressive, like why won't you be gay marriage? It's just like, here we are.
Yep.
Please accept us.
Yep.
We are the same.
And it was beautiful. There was a few people that tried to take it a bit more aggressive, but we all pulled it back, and like all the older people, like all the older Jewish gays that were there standing up for the memorial, it was just, they were so upset because they wanted it to be so peaceful. And I could see one of them crying, saying, can we keep it peaceful? Because I could tell everyone was getting a bit arced up by what they were doing. So that's when I came in and just started going, everyone, fingers up, chant love. So we just started like chanting love, 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 love.
Yeah.
And then all these oldies started crying. And
that's
it
lovely.
was like all the media were taking photos and all these like the crazy homophobic racist pieces of crap down the bottom of the hill didn't know what to do except hold up their signs. Like it was beautiful. It was a moment that I'll remember for the rest of my life. And that moment will be definitely in an upcoming song because I will never forget that moment. It's no time for hate anymore. It's just you got to move forward, you know, and that was my moment saying goodbye. Like we're winning.
I don't want to be the the guy that shows up to rehearsal with the Zildjian t-shirt and he's just like you know.
Hey, I'm luckily can say my endorsements. I'll proudly boast about that as much as I can. Right. I wear my Istanbul Mehmet t-shirt. I'm not going to lie.
You are sponsored by Istanbul?
So Istanbul Mehmet is my symbols, and they are so incredible. I love them so much, and I'm endorsed by CNC Drums, which are my babies. I have my Coke bottle green acrylic. That is my life. And Los Cabos.
It's an impressive kit. Like
it's amazing, honestly.
It's visually jarring, like awesomely jarring.
I've never had an acrylic before, and honestly, it's just so unique. It's just so beautiful. And then I'm so blessed to also be sponsored by a Canadian stick company called Los Cabos, and I have and I can proudly vouch for that company. Like I'm so not scared to boast of how much I love those guys because they've helped me create the sounds and feel and make me play the way I am now. You know, I'll definitely vouch for that.
Okay, well that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks heaps for coming by. Is there a song that you would like to finish up on tonight? Queens.
Oh God, let me think. Let's do Devo Whip It.
Sounds good. Thanks for coming on. Here's Devo with Whip It.
Thanks for having me.
End bracket.